And their main goal is to create gun violence prevention initiatives and to pass them in our state legislature. And the primary one is something called universal background checks. And what that does is require anyone who wants to purchase a gun or transfer a gun to have to go through a background check where they make sure that you're not a prohibited person. And so prohibited people are people who have a history of violent crime. They have to have a felony conviction for violent crime. And oftentimes, and then there's a lot of domestic violence crimes that are prohibit people from having guns. And we know this because one, the majority of, there's basically two groups of people who, well, I'd say three. There's three groups of people who are affected most by gun violence. First, it's African American, African men. They're the #1 victims of homicide. It's actually the most dangerous thing for young African American men. They're more likely to die from gun violence than almost anything else. But the second group is women in domestic violence relationships. And in Minnesota specifically, in the last few years, the majority of deaths have been from domestic violence situations where someone came back and shot someone with a gun. And then the last one is actually people with mental health. So people who commit, because guns are a very permanent solution to a problem, people who actually shoot themselves, unfortunately they don't survive. And so, but when they implement universal background checks, what we found is that incidences of gun violence both go down, but also incidences of suicide, because they have to go through an extra step in order to get that weapon. And it just, to me, it seems like a rational, common sense approach. Even though I advocate for a lot of other reforms in the criminal justice system, this one seems to, I feel like if you committed a violent crime, it makes sense that you wouldn't be able to have a gun.